So I want to. I'm gonna call Devin to my food. Um, should put the crab legs on. So I want to discuss the Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head. As I have made more than clear, there are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head. And these psychopaths every single day are making me, they make me sick. They attempt to stop me from going to the office. Because it's obvious when I'm there that there's nothing to investigate. Nobody hears them. And it just creates suspicion in the eyes of the U.S. government, who knows that they are investigating using this weapon, and gives enough probable cause so that they can investigate the terrorists talking in my head, who are apparently have not succeeded at getting the records with the evidence of all the crimes they've committed destroyed, who have not succeeded at getting them destroyed. And so they're in this panic or frenzy that they will be discovered, that their records won't be destroyed, and they will be investigated and sentenced to death. And most likely the same way they've murdered so many. So anyways, every day it is a challenge to get ready. And the stupid psycho terrorist women talking in my head thought it was so funny, okay, to say to me how basic, okay, you have no idea. This weapon can basically retard you, or for lack, I'm being lazy, handicap you down to a vegetable, okay? Literally, they can stop me from thinking. Why they have not, I'm not even going to sit here and dwell on, because that is neither here or there. I'm going to use it to my advantage that they haven't. But they basically can, and I've seen it. I've seen it with my two eyes. I know when the weapon is being used on somebody, because they don't make sense. Someone who is literally dying and doing drugs is under the influence of the weapon. Nobody is choosing to die. Nobody chooses to commit suicide. Nobody chooses to do stupid stuff, like things that are frightening. Maybe some people choose some um, adrenaline, um, um, adrenaline, you know, pumping activities. That's not what I was going to say, but something that makes your adrenaline rush, or adrenaline rushing activities. But even Elon Musk takes precaution, okay? I don't think that people just do that. And so people who just don't take precaution, I don't like, I assume immediately that they're under the the um the terrorist talking in my head is saying the guise of this weapon. Let's just go with it. And one of the terrorists, or two of the terrorists, or a few of the terrorists, I can't tell you because I can't really keep track of who says what. I know there are several voices in my head. That's to the extent of it. I don't know how to keep track of them. It's very hard to say. I know that I hear two or three of the same women every morning. Um, or for the most part, I hear them. But that's um, they're playing on my face. They're making my face swell as I communicate right now, or I'm discussing it. But they have their nerve to say, okay, that when I've discovered to live stream that this was basic, or being around credible people is basic. When I discover certain things, they call it basic. And they think it's funny, but they're not under the influence of the weapon, and they're laughing at the fact. And it's like, this is like a life or death situation, and they're making it sound like this is funny and a joke. Like, these are the terrorists I'm dealing with, okay? And my daughter, who has been severely impacted by this, is like, they're taking her life lightly, and instead of looking for other means out of their situation. Not to say that I want that, but I'm in a state of danger. So for me, it's like, get the fuck out of my fucking life. Like, I don't want my daughter hurt. I don't want my sister hurt. I don't want my sisters hurt. I don't want my mom hurt. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to die. And these bitches are laughing in my fucking head, dude. Saying it's basic, and all I can think is, who are like trying to make me feel like I'm the dumb one. And I'm like, I'm under this weapon, which took me which under this weapon took me 8 years to discover how to protect myself. What the fuck is taking these terrorists so long if they're not under this weapon? And then furthermore, now that I'm here, why haven't they discovered something yet? Like, if it's so basic, why don't they have a backup plan? If someone under the influence of a weapon can discover how to protect themselves, why don't they have a backup plan? Like, how stupid are these women? They're stupider than someone who is under that could be retarded down to a vegetable under the weapon. And that's how stupid these whorebags are. Like, that's how worthless the women are. And the men want to brag about how they're sleeping with them. You gotta be joking me, dude. Who in God's name would want to have kids with these whores? They're Egyptian American Muslim women. They're talking in my head. I want to make it. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. I want to protect your loins, okay, from these whores. I want to protect you from. I want to protect you from them in general. Your kids, your families, so you're not manipulated by them. I want to protect everyone from these psychos. Right now, they're making my face swell because I'm getting ready for work. Look at this. Every day, they stretch the skin of my face so that I age as quickly as possible. These are injuries. They're like, go get a facelift, bitch. So they could botch my face the way they did my body. Now I want you to see this. Okay, this. It looks like it got cut in half, and it's like, it goes in like, I don't know how to explain it, like, there, it goes inward. So if I were to gain weight, this would be a pooch on top of another pooch. And then look at this. Look at my forehead. And they made 98% of my hair fall out. And the men are like, fuck you, you fucking bitch, all day. They're Egyptian American Muslim women. I want them sentenced. It's the women, they're roaches, okay? So if you get rid of the roaches, you get rid of the roach problem. Yeah. The terrorists talking in my head's moms were terrorists. So, you know, their kids are now terrorists, adult terrorists. They're terrorists. So you nip the terrorists, you nip the women, you nip the problem. Fucking. I mean, assuming that your daughters don't turn you in, obviously. And they're terrorists. She's still taught. One of the whore bags is talking in my head. She's forcing words out of my mouth. I was gonna say one of the terrorists. One of the terrorist women who hacked my head. They're not going to leave me alone until they've murdered me. They're Egyptian American Muslim women. They're talking in my head. Alexa, what time is it?
Good morning, Devin. The time is 7:21 a.m.
I'm going to make sure you get sensitive. I swear to God. Over my dead body, you're going to get away with this bitch. Not over, okay. Not over. You're right. There she goes. There she goes. There she goes. I said, over my dead body, are you going to get away with this? And they're like, you're right. You're right. The silly, stupid, terrorist bitch is talking in my head. They're pulling on me. No, it's not. You were going to do it anyway, you lying bitch. There's no way they're going to do to my daughter what you did to me. Over my dead body. Basically, no, I'm not turning on the radio. I can't fucking catch your voice on my live stream, and I want you to send your bitch ass to death. The terrorists talking in my head are hurting me. The voices in my head are hurting me. The voices in my head are making my hair fall out. The voices in my head are making my hair fall out. The voices in my head are making my hair fall out. The voices in my head are making my hair fall out. The voices in my head are making my hair fall out. The voices in my head are making my face swell. The voices in my head are making my face swell. The voices in my head are hurting me. The voices in my head are trying to dictate. The voices in my head are trying to dictate. The voices in my head are trying to dictate. The voices in my head are trying to dictate. The voices in my head are trying to dictate. The voices in my head are trying to dictate. The voices in my head are trying to dictate. The voices in my head are trying to dictate. The voices in my head are trying to dictate. The voices in my head are trying to dictate. The voices in my head are trying to dictate. The voices in my head are trying to dictate. The voices in my head are trying to dictate. The voices in my head, 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 the voices in my head are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head. This is so much more money. Are you stupid? You're just trying to show kids more money than more. Because you knew them. Give it a consent. especially if you don't know her fully.
Welcome to Market News. Here's what we just got for you. 2 minutes ago from CNBC, the Trump administration's crackdown on Anthropic's leading artificial intelligence models is looking like a gift to China. 5 minutes ago, Warsh says he's determined to slay inflation. Investors want to know if he really means it. 6 minutes ago from CNBC, the moves come as oil traders monitor the prospect of U.S.-Iran talks in Doha on Tuesday. 30 minutes ago, here's what's worth streaming in July 2026 on Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, and more. An hour ago, Trump accounts for newborns are nothing but a diversion. An hour ago from CNBC, AeroVironment is benefiting from U.S. plans to modernize the U.S. military and secure space. An hour ago, with the yen at a 40-year low, here's when Japan could intervene to catch the market off balance. An hour ago, inflation fears are overblown. What the rate hike camp gets wrong about the stock market. An hour ago from CNBC, the move could unlock millions of new patients for Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly and expand access to medications that were previously out of reach for seniors. An hour ago, the big surprise for the year's second half could be the AI trade powering higher. Why it wouldn't take much. Total of 10 headlines have been reported.
They're bothering me. They're bothering my sinuses. The terrors talking in my head every time I do my makeup, they bother my sinuses. Get off of me. They're pulling on my face. The terrorists are pulling on my face. The voices are pulling on my face. They're pulling on my face. They're pulling on my face. The terrorists are pulling on my face. They keep pulling on my face. They keep pulling on my face. The terrorists are pulling on my face. They keep pulling on my face so that I don't look attractive. And one of the women just laughed like a psychopath. And they keep suffocating me, so I keep making this noise. They don't want me going to work because it's obvious they're talking in my head. Nobody obviously hears them, and there's a record involved, and the weapon will read the room basically. They're suffocating me. They're Egyptian American. Look what they're doing to my forehead. They're pulling on my forehead, and it bothers me, and it's hurting me. They're raping me. They keep saying to me, why don't you go find someone to go have sex with then? They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They don't want me to go use my looks for work. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head. They're raping me. They're raping me. They're whorebags. They're whorebags. They're terrorists. Nobody cares if they sleep around. They're terrorists. They're talking in my head. They're serial killers. They're murdering me. They see that? Them suffocating me. They murdered Mina Morgan. They murdered Mark and Jacob Iskander. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. Please help me sentence those roaches to death. They keep making me scream so that they make my neighbors uncomfortable. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They want to make my neighbors uncomfortable with me. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They don't like me because I'm not the type to get embarrassed. I'll go to my neighbors and tell them I'll apologize and make friends with them. Look, they're making my hair fall out. Now the terrorist bitches are saying that they're saying my daughter's name. What does that mean? They got soap in my eye. They're talking in my head. 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 They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head. 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 They're making my hair fall out. They keep saying you're gonna go bald, bitch. One of the men just said basically, it actually sounds like one of the women. All of the women sentenced to death. They're Egyptian American Muslim women. They're roaches, These roaches, they have more roaches. Only way to kill a roach colony is to get the women. You get the female roaches, and then you stop the infestation. They're hurting me. They're pulling on my head. It feels like someone just pulled my head down. And it's not just my head. It's like my skin. My skin like feels like it just. Look at this. Look, my hair. It's like falling out. I don't think you can see it. Look. No. There it is. They're trying to stop me from going to work. So they keep getting more aggressive because I'm almost done getting ready. This has nothing to do with what I said. They're just sick in the fucking head. It's just they're really terrorists. The women are really terrorists. This isn't anything personal. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're saying, I'll make sure you fucking die in my head. You made sure Mina died. You made sure Berta died. You made sure Mark and Jacob died. You made sure everyone died. Fuck you. Why do you think I keep saying it? Stupid psycho. Fuck you. She just said, haha. She's a psycho Egyptian American Muslim terrorist. She just hit me. You won't be running off with the money. You're running off with his death penalty. starting me, the terrorists, is because the women are feminine. What kind of women hit kids with cars? That's why we fucking out because the women sound like fucking men. That's a worker's men, they sound like men. It is when you're protecting just man, because these bitches are roaches. They're considering roaches to everyone. Yeah. So the terrorist talking in my head is murdering me, and he's trying to make me sound violent because the women are murdering kids and they're just murdering people. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists, and they want to make me sound like the violent one. And he's like, haha, you're just mad because you look like a dyke. And they're talking in my head. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. He's trying to water it down to something so simple, but they're murdering me. They're talking in my head. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head. As if this is a verbal fight. I can't capture the voices on this live stream. They're talking in my head. Do you hear me? And they're mad because their women are masculine, disgusting roaches. They're terrorist roaches. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 7:54 a.m.
They're terrorist roaches and they keep saying my daughter's name. Sons to death. I'll make sure this record's clear. I don't care. Your families are getting sentenced to death. I don't care which generation of you bitches get sentenced to death. As long as we put an end to your terrorist organization. Jealous. Of my friends. Both. Jealous. You're just jealous because Elon Musk doesn't care. He doesn't care. Like, I fucking. All those kids and not one of them yours, huh? That has nothing to do with that. Long days of work. And he would have got a fucking dog burger. Yet, sorry, I'm just saying not truly or anything. Because you clearly are. The hooker's talking about I got pregnant fucking by you. That was clearly no mistake. God, what they would have done. Fuck out of here. If the men could get pregnant by you, fuck you. Your dad would have been the first one to say, don't worry, he would have took one for the team. You know, lubed up his butthole from you. Lord, I'm ready for this meeting. I never felt so it's not necessarily, no. I was saying, Elon, he would have probably had to say that. Just take one for the team to their moms. Fuck you. Look, they're fucking with my sinuses because I'm going to work. They're mad because the record that's produced with the telepathy weapon and wasn't enough to scare these terrorists off. And when whoever came decided, okay, we'll just dissect the weapon and create YouTube live, um, you know, that still clearly wasn't enough. So now I'm using it to put an end to this because I'm done talking. I want them sentenced to death. They're Egyptian American Muslim women. They're talking in my head. They're pulling on my face. The terrorists talking in my head are pulling on my face. They're pulling on my face so I sound like the violent one and not the women murdering me. There are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head. They're murdering me, and the men keep pulling on my face to make me sound like the violent one and not the women screaming in my head with them. Not the women screaming in my head with them, trying to manipulate the records and make it sound like voices coming from outside. They're talking in my head. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists pretending I need investigating when I don't, and trying to make it sound like the voices I'm hearing are coming from outside. I'm protecting everyone. These are psychopaths. They're murdering me and trying to find a way to get away with it. The men want to make me sound like the violent one. So they keep pulling on my face, trying to make me cuss and say fuck you and this and that, because they're stretching the skin of my forehead and calling me ugly when they make me look aged, but these are injuries. Aged and angry. When it's really their women are psychopaths. Their mothers, their daughters, their sisters, their wives, they're basically their partners' sisters. They keep saying Renee wants them to die. Why is she saying my name? Because she's one of the terrorists. This is what they're saying in my head, because they want to pretend like it's someone outside hearing me repeating, like trying to say that I want what I'm like, as if they're hearing me, and they want me, they're hearing me, and they're saying I want the terrorist that I'm describing to die. And my phone didn't capture it or something. These are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking inside my head. They're trying to manipulate the records produced with the weapon that they're using to talk inside my head. They're liars. They're like, she heard me. Of course I did. They're talking in my head. And they're trying to manipulate the records, and the records are produced with the weapon that they're attached to my brain activity. So I have to hear them. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head. Look at all this swelling. It's making my head look funny. They don't want me taking pictures so I don't, they don't want me looking attractive so I don't market myself for my real estate. They're Egyptian American Muslim women. They want me feeling old and unattractive. They're Egyptian American Muslim women. They did the same thing to several of my friends. Do you hear me? Thank God for Snapchat and filters. I want them sensitive. I want them sensitive. They're talking in my head and they're making me dizzy. Yesterday I couldn't even think. Jack is supposed to call me. They're keeping my mind occupied because I'm trying to qualify this guy for a house. And yesterday I thought of a way to qualify him. They're playing with my facial expression so I don't smile. My hair it's so thin, it almost looks like it's pulled back while it's down. Look. And they're laughing. Hi, baby. See, it almost looks like it's pulled back, but it's down. Hi. One of the women is laughing. This is how they try to make me sound belligerent and violent, but that's what they're doing. They're laughing in my head is what's violent. That's violent while someone's hurting. They keep doing American Muslim women terrorists. So I looked at myself and I thought, on my face, playing with the circulation, like making me feel crippled so I couldn't clean up real fast. I swear, these bitches are fucking evil. They're evil. Now they're playing with my sinuses. They're Egyptian American Muslim women. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head. Do you hear me? They need to be sentenced to death. They're Egyptian American Muslim women. They're Egyptian American Muslim women. These are not good women. These are psychopaths. The bitches are sick in the fucking head. People only fucking knew, dude. There is no way in fucking hell. I put those stink ass holes in the fucking wall. Fucking. To make it clear, I can't pick up their voices. Are they pretending to investigate? Actually, I just get sentenced to death. I can't capture the voices on the phone. They murdered Mark and Jeffries. They're making me dizzy. They're making me dizzy. They're making me dizzy and feel crippled. They're making me feel dizzy and crippled. The terrorists talking in my head are hurting me. They're hurting me. They're hurting me. They're Egyptian American Muslim women. American Muslim women terrorists. They're hurting me. They're hurting me. They're hurting me. There are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're hurting me. Intibet Rift. They're hurting me. The terrorists talking in my head are hurting me. They're 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 hurting me like anybody cares that they're facing the death penalty. What the fuck is it? Who cares? They're murderers. They're talking in my head. They're hurting me! My daughter, my daughter, my daughter. Oh, my daughter! No! I'm sorry, Leah. The voices in my head are hurting me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Can I have you, please? They're hurting my daughter. They're hurting me and they're hurting my daughter. They're hurting me and they're hurting my daughter. And they keep making me spit in the mirror. They're Egyptian American Muslim women. They're Egyptian American Muslim women. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head. There are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head. There are Egyptian American Muslim women. There are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. There are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. There are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head. There are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head. They're like, oh, your neighbor, he knows there's something wrong with you. They keep saying, I want you to die. They're making me swallow my food whole. Get off of me! Get off of me!
Eat of the forbidden.
I could have hit the truck behind me. They're talking in my head! They're talking in my head!